uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there humans, Bushka here, and I'm going to be taking you from start to finish in a game with Mr. Ouija, which is going to be included in the Guide for Noobs series. And this is obviously more about just applying real-time tactics to your gameplay and getting better because of it. And if you enjoy getting better, and if you like thinking outside the box, or maybe just ingraining some good gameplay methods, then this is the series for you. We're going to hit the parachute glitch on the way in, but I do note that as I'm falling in, there is a gun underneath me here. I see that, so I row straight up there once I get inside. There are elements of 3 squads here with us. Now, Mr. Ouija and I are in comms here. In fact, I think this game was on stream, and you're going to note that we are constantly working together. I see that guy go down. Mr. Ouija got the knock. That guy's getting off the roof to revive his teammate. I'm going to push the knock. Unfortunately, I hit the player there rather than the teammate, but we end up clearing one of the members of that squad and finishing off Mr. Ouija's thirst. Now, big issue here is that we've got to be very, very careful. We can be aggressive at the start, and we do want to hold angles, but we don't have hit points. I don't anyway, and I don't have a helmet. He is in this room here. He jumps out. And there is a lot of incoming fire from different angles. If you see where I'm moving, I'm staying out of the windows and staying out of the doorways. The reason for that is quite simple. There are people in the other buildings. So we're trying to basically scavenge off the edges, get some meds, get back online, get healthy. And so I'm going to close the door before we move in. And I'm also going to get a care package from Tencent, i.e. a bot's going to come in, and we're going to take care of that. And we're starting to get some gear together. An 8x and a Mosin is a great start. I would love some meds. I would particularly love a helmet. I'm a sniper by trade, and if you don't have a level 3 helmet, sniping is far less effective, because when you've got a level 3 helmet, you can absorb a knock, and your opponent, if they're in a level 2, can't. So it's probably the most important bit of kit for a sniper after getting an 8x is to get a helmet. Hell, it's probably more important to have a level 3 helmet than it is to have an 8x, depending on the engagement. So we move on. Mr. Ouija and I are still in the C block of the apartment barracks, and there is someone across the way. Now, I'm happy to take these engagements, even though I don't have a helmet. Why, you may ask? Well, what's the worst thing that happens if I get knocked? Unless we're incredibly unlucky and a second squad pushes us, because there are multiple squads all around us, I'll be able to be revived by Ouija here. And he's doing the same thing. He's actually out the back farming bots. Now, you might have noticed a bot came in on me. He actually gets a real player there as well in that. That's an Indonesian guy. That's going to pop in the kill feed a little bit. There's an Indo squad. I think they've got a Bangladesh guy with him or a Sri Lankan. I can't remember. Might even be Indian, actually. Anyway, we'll see as we go forward. And if I get knocked, Mr. Ouija can get to me before they can push effectively. And if they do push in the open, one of the other squads that's around us will probably tidy them up before they get in. And there is someone rolling. Oh, hello. He's got a DP28 and he's tap firing it, but he only has a level 2 helmet and he's hard peeking. Hard peeking is a big no-no in TPP, third person perspective, because obviously if you can see them hard peeking, you get a split second because of desync to pop out and take the shot before they can see you. And that's why I pulled back behind the window and then poked the left-hand side to get that shot off. In FPP, it's not a big deal at all because you have to hard peek and they can't see you. Now, this is another squad, quite different to the squad that is on the right. And the squad that is on the right rolled in a buggy, and that kind of perplexed us. We weren't sure what was happening, and then went very, very quiet. And what they actually were doing is rolling in a buggy to get out in a UAZ out the back, a 4-seater. And so we roll in, and we start hitting, and there's actually only 2 or 3 in that one, and then the third member jumps on a bike and leaves. So we've missed one squad, and we've got one squad still at the direction of the boardwalk, the catwalk. I make a huge error here, and I love these kind of things because it shows this is good tactical game sense. There is a squad up there. I've only seen 2 of them. I'm happy, but in my head, I should be thinking, where's the rest of this squad? I don't know, but I'm going to pop up here to get the thirst and wait for it. There's another Indonesian flag, and he's got a Mosin, and he has knocked me because I am only wearing a level 2 helmet. and that will be cleared by a Mosin in one shot. And I was getting thirsty and stationary, completely stationary, on top of a building in a hot drop area, which is dumb. It's actually really, really dumb. So we get back online, and then we get a much better angle where we can keep all the bad guys in front of us. Now, we don't know where the guy with the Mosin is, so you're going to note that is a concern, but we do know that the guy on top of the catwalk here, he hasn't moved, and that's a big mistake. Much as I relocated because I had a target on top of my head every time I went up on top, that guy didn't. And because of that, he's going to get thirsted up. So that's one member of that squad down, and there's actually 3 more to go. It's interesting, isn't it, that we have gone through, there's probably 4 or 5 squads have dropped here, and it's very chaotic on a hot drop. Keeping track of this is very difficult. We talked in the first episode about watching for flags, and that's important, but it's not always possible on a hot drop to figure all this out, and you have to make guesses. Like I made a guess that all the members of that squad were at the boardwalk, and they weren't. One of them was on a wide flank. In fact, he might have dropped differently to where the rest of the squad was and got torn up because of it. I still don't know where he is. That's why I'm very worried, because in the blue, you can't keep your health at 100%, and that means you can often drop below the break points of the sniper rifles. For instance, a shot that would do 70 damage with a Kar 98 would tear you up if you're in the blue, because you drop below that 70 mark as the zone ticks your health off. Just always something to be mindful of. Taking engagements in the blue, you have to be a lot more conscious of where your health bar is on a second-by-second basis. Anyway, we've got the knock here. We know the Mosin guy is too far away to get here for the revive. There's only one more member of this squad left, and we're going to be looking for that. Get stuck behind the tree. Mr. Ouija finishes him anyway, and then marks where the next bloke is. So the guy who was knocked, that Mr. Ouija knocked, is dead to the zone, and here comes our Mosin guy. You can hear him from the distinctive sound of the Mosin. You can hear that tap, that kind of tinny, almost plasticky sound that it doesn't have like a full-throated roar like the Kar or the M24 or even the big dog, the AWM. And that's cleared military base. I got 5 kills, Ouija's got 5 kills. And I do want to point something out here. We work as a duo awfully well together because we've been playing together for so long, but we still lose a lot of games. And you can see why. Those mistakes, sometimes they get punished, sometimes they don't. Taking that engagement in the blue, if I had got hit by the guy with the Mosin, or the guy with the Mosin had been closer to where they were and had got a knock on us, it would have been very hard to come out of this, because we actually don't have a whole lot of meds. We don't have a whole lot of armor. Ouija, I think here, doesn't have a full helmet, and his vest is shattered. So there is someone just pulled in up above us in a buggy. Now, this might seem a little bit sneaky, and normally I wouldn't be playing like this. You could get to Conqueror like this. Like, I could play and get a lot higher rank than I get, but it wouldn't be as much fun. What I'm doing here and why I'm lying down is I need that guy to hard peek. I only really have one shot at him before he can get back into cover, and we need to kill him and thirst him up because we need his gear, and it's got to happen. So we're taking our time. Mr. Ouija isn't making a sound. I'm not making a sound. I just need him to hard peek. And I'm getting a little bit further away so that I don't get stuck on the wall with my scope. There he is. We need this gun. We need a hit. Headshot, level 2 helmet. Done. Straight up the hill. Get the gear, get the thirst. Happy days. Now, that's altering my playstyle and altering our tactics to suit the situation. You've got to adapt. You're not always going to get it right. You can have good methodology, but at the same time, don't just keep pushing because pushing is cool. You'll just end up throwing the iPad. It's just an absolute tour de force. If you do that, you will end up getting really annoyed. Anyway, onwards and upwards, and we are now looking at the best piece of real estate on the map. If you've watched the channel for any length of time, you would know what I'm talking about here. I often look for the compound at about this stage where I want to see out final circle. You basically look for a place where if the circle comes to you or comes towards you, you will be the winner. And that's what we're doing here. This is at the bottom of a valley, but it's a very, very slowly sloped valley. Very gradual, the descent. And that's where these guys are coming here as well. It's a 2v1 now. That's cool. hitting an awful lot of car there with that. Unfortunate, but we do get the clear and we get him back up. And one of the reasons I like coming to these kind of compounds is situations like that. People will push for this real estate because it's so valuable. And then we can push out of that as well, which we do here. And this is another one of those gameplay situations, which I think this is a bad move. And I said to Mr. Ouija at the time, but he was just, let's go and get some more frags. And I was like, well, righto, fair enough. Anyone that's lying down in the grass up the top here is probably going to be not terribly fantastic at PUBG Mobile, or at least playing in a very, very passive manner so that we can take advantage of that. So we rolled up, cleared the last remaining members of those squads, or actually 2 members of that squad. There's more from them later. And then we went straight back to our compound. I really think this is important stuff to talk through and talk about, because every single game is different. You have things that you do, like I will always try and find a compound at about, 3rd from final circle, because I feel like that's when you've really got to settle in. And we got lucky here. There's no way around this. We got lucky, but we got lucky because we did the work early. Our compound was the compound to get to. And because of that, we picked up 2 squads attempting to crash us. And this is going to be an interesting gunfight because we actually move out of this compound. Now, it starts with the artillery phase, obviously, and then we move back inside because they're going to return fire, and it's quite hard to get a grenade in. Whoa, nicely done. Quite hard to get a grenade in through that small window while you've got 2 people here with the ability to shoot you. Plus, the blues coming in. Now, Mr. Ouija gets a knock. That's another Indonesian flag. I suspect they're members of that squad that we sorted out before. And there's another knock. So maybe it's a whole new flag. And we're not sure if there's another 1 there or 2 there. Now, the smokes are going to start popping out soon. That's fine because we're actually going to push in. If it's 2, then happy days, the smokes are worthwhile. If it's just 1, we probably should have pushed earlier. But I didn't pay enough attention to the car and I couldn't count how many were in there. They've got smokes out anyway. We're going to drop smokes in front and we're going to push it. That's a horrible smoke. Don't do that. This is pretty important. 6 left alive, 2 of us, at least 3 there. Could be 5, could be 6. This could be for the game. So we're willing to push and take a risk here. They're reeling. They are hitting heels. They are trying to get back online. I go to FPP mode. Now, FPP is much better in smoke. It's really important. And that's the clear and only 1 guy left. At times, there is the need to take a risk. And I've lost a lot of games from taking that risk, but I've lost an awful lot more from not taking that risk, particularly lately. When you get on a bit of a losing streak, sometimes you get more passive than you should be and you stop trusting yourself. There is a time to be aggressive. We just weren't sure how many were there, whether it was 3 or whether it was 4. It turned out that it was 3. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope this has been good. I will point one last thing out. We play very tight and very together, and we get score lines like this all the time. This is double hundreds, both within 100 damage of each other, both with 1 revive, 11 kills apiece. And that's really what it's all about, playing together as a team. I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. There'll be plenty more of it coming. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.